Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
As we start the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. We start today's show, as we typically do, with Louisiana news and another confirmation of a horrendous problem. And let me preface this by saying we've seen this in other parts of our state, and we've seen this in many places in our country. You've heard, I'm sure, if you are in Baton Rouge and been keeping abreast of things, law enforcement tell us that typically they see criminals that are repeat offenders, meaning they indulge in a crime, police arrest them, they go to trial, convicted, get out, and revert back to the same criminal behavior all over again. More and more people now are becoming of the opinion that the problem is not law enforcement, it is parenting and the judiciary not holding these people as accountable as they should. For example, this week here in the capital city, horrific incident. Individuals, 3 of them in a vehicle, decide to run from police on a high-speed chase after police noticed them carrying weapons to a vehicle, one of the individuals allegedly wearing a mask. Law enforcement figuring these guys are up to no good. So they start following them. They notice, hey man, police are following us. So they take off running. End up running a red light, striking another vehicle. The impact was so violent, it literally tore the engine out of the car. A passenger, one of the 3 in the car running from police, dying at the scene. Meanwhile, we find out through law enforcement sources that Darian Bailey was the driver of the vehicle. WBRZ, the ABC affiliate, News 2 in Baton Rouge, did some digging and found out that Bailey, Darian Bailey, at 14 years old, was arrested for the 2012 murder of Derek Mariano off Wyandotte Street. Fortunately, two other people in the home at the time this guy showed up, along with two accomplices, to rob them. Two other people narrowly escaped death. Court records show he pled guilty in 2019 to a manslaughter charge, was given 10 years in prison, but only served 7 before being released. Meanwhile, between his arrest for the 2012 murder and the deadly accident, he was also arrested for another attempted murder. Allowed to bond out, mere days later, he's driving the vehicle, running from police, that results in the death of a passenger. Our system is broken, y'all. It's broken. And unless and until we demand that judges do their jobs, it's not going to get any better. Now listen, I understand. Many judges will probably tell you, well, we have a limited amount of jail space, so we have to reserve that space for the most heinous offenders. If that in fact is true, then that's on us. It is society / the taxpayers' responsibility to make sure that we have more than adequate space for individuals who willingly show us they're not either capable or willing to abide by the laws of a civilized society. I often refer back to the one line that I remember from the initial Batman movie, where Bruce Wayne said, "Criminals thrive on the indulgence of society." As long as we refuse to fund enough space to house them, as long as we continue to elect people that are soft on crime, as long as we continue to make excuses for these people, well, you know, they had a troubled childhood and this, that, and the other, as long as we continue to indulge them, this sort of thing will continue. And as time has shown us, it will get a whole lot worse before it gets any better. You know, just when you think we as a society cannot sink any lower, all you have to do is keep breathing and you'll see it. This week, the Rice family, and our condolences, heartfelt to them, because it goes against the natural order of things for a parent to have to bury their child. We've all heard about the horrific murder of Allie Rice, the senior at Louisiana State University, sitting on Government Street in her car, waiting for a train to pass by, and murdered. Police announcing this week that they, so far, as a result of their investigation, think this was just a random shooting. This should scare every one of us, whether you are black, white, yellow, red, brown, Republican, Democrat, independent, whatever. To simply be sitting at a cross, waiting for a train to pass and be murdered. But just when you thought it couldn't be any worse, family, friends, loved ones put up a monument at the site of her murder. And one of the things included on a telephone pole was an ornate metal cross with her picture in the middle of it. less than 2 days after the memorial was erected, someone stole the cross. How in God's name do you steal a cross with someone's picture on it who was murdered? I mean, I can't imagine putting it up in your home, on your patio, in your garden, wherever. Every single time you see that cross, or every single time you see a cross, a decent person would be reminded of what they did. And of course, to add more insult to injury, we also found out in the aftermath of that horrific incident that someone set up a fake GoFundMe page to try and steal money from people in their outpouring of support for this family. How does any decent person, and I guess I just answered my own question, you can't be a decent person, how do you spend money that you made off the death of a wonderful person? Y'all, our society is in trouble, in case you haven't already noticed. And it's as though we are in a race, in a contest to determine who can be the absolute lowest among us. I have said for many years, y'all, and I continue to say, all of this stuff starts at home. Pure and simple. We wonder where our young people get some of the ideas they get, why they do some of the things they do. It starts at home. And unless and until we are willing to face that reality and take the necessary steps to fix it, it will only get worse. Just an observation. Speaking of things getting worse, and speaking of, we've got a major problem here. The city of Baton Rouge, like so many all across the country, revealing this week that there is an epidemic in our city. And time has shown us, whereas in days gone by, we could expect the government to help in this regard. If that's what you're waiting on, you'll be waiting a while. We'll talk about that when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5 with iActive all-wheel drive and available turbo engine. It truly ignites the senses.
Save on your new CX-5 right now during the season of discovery at Team Mazda.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. I see Alan back there going, I got you, bro. I got you. The word for this particular segment is priorities. One of the functions of government is to look out for the health and well-being of those that elected them to serve us. In recent memory, the word or the drug fentanyl has become a part of the American jargon. By now, I can't imagine that there is one single person anywhere in the country that doesn't know about fentanyl. Speaking of priorities, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, after 2 or 3 people died from monkeypox, declared a national health emergency. 3 people, and it's an emergency. Meanwhile, last year, the federal government reports more than 107,000 people, Americans, died from an opioid overdose, most of them from fentanyl. But not a word from the CDC, not a word from the Department of Homeland Security, not a word from the White House on the health emergency that America faces because of fentanyl. So far this year, there's been enough fentanyl seized in this country to kill every single living American. So let's bring this home now. It was announced this week that so far this year, keep in mind now, we still have a week of September, the month of October, the month of November, and the month of December. We still have more than a fourth of this year left. And so far, more than 200 people just in Baton Rouge have died from an opioid overdose. According to EBR coroner Bo Clark, of the more than 200 Baton Rougeans so far this year that have died from an opioid overdose, all but 20 of them had fentanyl in their system. I don't know about you, but when I see 107,000 and change of my fellow Americans dying from a fentanyl overdose, I could be wrong. I could be way off base on this. But it says to me, we've got a problem. When I see we have confiscated enough fentanyl to kill most of the planet, that's a problem. But the Centers for Disease Control will declare a national health emergency over monkeypox. That says to me the priorities of the executive branch of government are all screwed up. Of course, now, I did tell you Tuesday that 25% of Americans that were polled cannot name one branch of government. So for a lot of y'all, when I say the priorities of the executive branch of government are screwed up, 25% of y'all are saying, well, who's he talking about? The White House. Okay? A national emergency for 3 people dying of monkeypox, but not a word about fentanyl. You know, it says a lot about us as a country. There was a time when one of two things would happen with this many people dying from one particular cause. Well, actually, 3 things would happen. One, the government would respond accordingly. 2, we, the citizenry, we, the people, would demand that the government change its priorities and deal with this. Or 3, we would take matters into our own hands. Sadly, none of that is occurring. In a city the size of Baton Rouge, to have over 200 people die, all but 20 of them had fentanyl in their system, should tell you everything you need to know. Now, ironically, speaking of we, the people, taking matters into our own hands, this week is National Voter Registration Week. It is an opportunity for we, the people, to effect change in our country. I know for a fact it is utterly impossible for anyone with just a little bit of a brain to not be concerned about crime in this country. It's utterly impossible, if you have a little bit of a brain, to not be concerned about the number of illegal immigrants entering this country. You got to be concerned about the ongoing supply chain crisis. You got to be concerned about the fact that baby formula is still hard to get in this country. You got to be concerned how the Department of Justice has been weaponized against our fellow Americans. You got to be concerned about a whole litany of things that the government is either incapable of solving or they just don't give a damn. I mean, after all, it doesn't affect them. This is an opportunity for you to make a difference. If you are not registered to vote, now is the time to do so. If you have been voting one particular way all these years and you are concerned about violent crime, criminals on our streets, illegal immigrants walking across the border by the millions, supply chain crisis, our standing in the international community, and a whole litany of other things, now is the time for you to question the way you've been voting and make a concerted effort to educate yourself on the issues and change your behavior. Because at the end of the day, all you have to do is ask yourself, how is this working out for me? How's it working out for my family members and loved ones? How's this working out for my coworkers? And how is it working out for my city, my state, and the country that I live in? You know, it's real easy to tell why those on the left recently have spent so much time trying to criminally charge, indict, whatever, Donald J. Trump. That's the only thing they can talk about. Why? Well, they can't very well sit down and talk to America about how they've reduced crime because it's exploding. They can't sit down and talk to America about how they've done a great job of getting illegal immigration under control because they haven't. They can't sit down and talk to Americans about how they came to the rescue with the supply chain crisis because it's still there. They can't sit down and talk to Americans about how they've brought us all together because all they've done is spend time dividing us. That is supposed to weigh heavily on your decision on how you vote. Now, if you're satisfied with things the way they are, you think crime's not a problem, inflation, not a problem, illegal immigration, not a problem, supply chain crisis, not a problem, standing in the international community, not a problem, then continue to vote the way you have. But if you care about this country, if you care about your livelihood, if you care about your safety, maybe it's time you take steps to do something about it. Bottom of the hour break. Speaking of problems plaguing this country and priorities that are so misconstrued it makes your head spin, we'll talk about that when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's Make That the Thursday, gotcha, edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, Marty, get ready. Say it loud so they can hear you this time. How many times have you heard me say, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. What they do. We need to come up with a sound bite, a special effect for that. The Biden-Harris administration told us over a year ago that they were well aware of the situation at the border and they were going to do everything within their power to get it under control. As a matter of fact, President Biden saying that there is no one more qualified to deal with the situation at the border than Vice President Kamala Harris. So he named her the border czar. She, of course, wouldn't go to the border. That is, until she found out Donald J. Trump was going to make a trip to the border. And then she flew to Texas, not to the border, stayed way away from the actual border. So this week, the federal government announcing, for the first time in history, 2 million illegal immigrants have been apprehended at the border. Now, 2 things to make note of with this announcement from the federal government. number one, we still have a month and change left in the fiscal year. So that number is going to go up. But more important, that 2 million number of people, those are just the ones apprehended. We're not talking about the gotaways. The law of averages gives you 1 out of 10. For every 10 things that you do, law of averages says, well, you should get 1 right. Let's give the Biden-Harris administration the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they apprehended 50% of the people entering this country illegally. You know what the remaining number is, right? These folks are coming into this country illegally by the millions. Here's a question. Vice President Kamala Harris got aboard Air Force Two and used your money, taxpayer dollars, for this trip to South and Central America to find out remember this, root causes of the immigration influx. Maybe I just missed it. I mean, I pride myself on trying to stay abreast of a lot of things, particularly issues that are plaguing the country. But do any of you remember Vice President Kamala Harris holding a news conference and announcing the results of what she found out and the formulation of the new plan to deal with this massive problem? You don't remember it because she didn't do it. But Joe Biden told us that there is no one more qualified than her to deal with this problem. So this week, reporters asked Joe Biden in the White House, why do you think it is that illegal immigration has just exploded under your watch? Well, the president said, well, that's because they're coming now from Cuba, Venezuela, and another country. It's different now because it's 3 countries. They're not just coming from Mexico anymore. And we're supposed to be so stupid as to say, oh, okay, well, it's Cuba and Venezuela and I forget the other country, but they're still Nicaragua. They're still coming through Mexico. So what does he say when confronted with this? Well, we're working with the government of Mexico to see if they can stop the flow. You have been working with Mexico to stop the flow, and it's only gotten worse, exponentially worse. And I'm supposed to believe that they've come up with a magic formula now to stop the flow into this country. If you buy that, Marty and I are going to make you a real good deal on that beachfront mountaintop chalet in Bruley. Marty said to be sure to tell you the brothel in the backyard is already spoken for. He's buying that part. These people, you know, at some point, initially you want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're just that blind. They're just that incapable. They're just that stupid. But after you sit here and watch it continue day after day after day after day, getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You start to change your way of thinking that, well, bless their little old hearts, they're just stupid. They can't do any better. You start to come to the realization this is by design. They're doing this on purpose. You cannot be this incompetent by accident. You have to work hard to screw something up this bad. And yet, they will have you believe, what did Kamala Harris say less than a week ago? Oh, the border's secure. What did Karine Jean-Pierre tell us a week and change ago? Well, it's not like they're just walking across the border. They're not doing that. So apparently, these 2 million people with a month and change left in the fiscal year, apparently these people bought a ticket on Carnival Cruise Lines, a one-way ticket to Cozumel, got off the cruise ship and decided, you know what the hell, let's stay, let's go live in America. Apparently the cruise ships are the problem. Now, I guess we figure out why there's been such a problem with flights and airlines in America, because apparently all of these 2 million plus people had enough money to buy a one-way plane ticket and ended up in this country. Y'all, really? Do you not understand what is going on right in front of our very eyes? Well, some of y'all don't, obviously. That's why the vice president was comfortable enough to tell you, well, the border's secure. She figured we got enough stupid people out there, enough ignorant, dumb, fill in the back end of that word, they'll believe it when I say it. I mean, how else do you have the spokesperson for the leader of the free world tell you that, well, they're not just walking across the border? When we see tons of video, tons of pictures of lines miles long of people walking across our border. Oh, and it gets better. It gets better. The Border Patrol informing us this week that as soon as Title 42 ends, right now they are seeing, and this is just apprehensions, this is not the gotaways, this is just the people they caught, 8,000 a day. They are expecting that number to at least double. Is this what you voted for? And of course, we see now where the Democrats are demonizing the governor of Texas for shipping these migrants to other cities. But where were these same people when for months on end, Joe Biden was putting these illegal immigrants on airplanes and buses in the dead of night so that you wouldn't see it, and dropping them off in cities all across America, right here in Baton Rouge included, and didn't tell the local governments or the state governments anything. But now all of a sudden, when 50 show up in Martha's Vineyard, oh, it's a whole different story now. We are watching an orchestrated destruction of this country unfold right in front of our eyes. And the White House will tell you, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? Never in my wildest imagination could you have told me that we would witness what is happening in this country ever in my lifetime, not to mention in less than 2 years. But hey, 81 million of y'all voted for it. Suckers. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of the Thursday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Remember last week when the White House held that garden party complete with James Taylor playing his guitar and serenading the guests to celebrate the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? How the stock market ticker was crashing before our very eyes with Joe Biden making an address by some 1,200 points. You know you're in trouble when the mainstream media says, that was kind of tone deaf, y'all. ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous was talking with an ABC analyst, and the question was posed, do you think inflation has peaked just yet? Nope, probably not. When ABC News will go on camera and tell you this, you know you're in trouble. And of course, this week, it was revealed that folks on the East Coast this winter, if you heat your home with natural gas, get ready, because you're going to feel it in the wallet. You know, it would be one thing if we were a fledgling country and we had no history to look back on. It would be something else entirely if we had never, ever gone through periods of inflation, so we had no idea how to deal with it, what the ramifications were, who it affects, etc., etc. But y'all, we've been here 240 some years now. So again, it makes one wonder how you can be this incompetent unless you're actually pursuing an agenda. And ironically, the folks responsible for it, they are hurting the most loyal part of their base. Now, maybe they are just that incompetent. But if that were the case, it would be pretty easy to fix it. All you have to do is look back at our history. Okay? This time in our history, we had high inflation. How did we fix it? This time in our country's history, we had inflation rear its head again. How did we fix it? This time here, we had inflation. What did we do about it? You don't have to look very far, and you certainly don't have to be an Einstein to figure out how to fix it. And yet, what they do. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. If you are of the opinion that inflation's not that bad, well, that's your right as an American. If you're of the opinion crime's not that bad, that's your right as an American. If you are of the opinion illegal immigration, not that big a problem, that's your right as an American. But if you have one working brain cell and you see it as Americans of all persuasions are seeing it, maybe it's time we do something about it, y'all. Of course, now, you have to, first and foremost, stop worshiping at the altar of the mainstream media. If you find yourself watching this show, and I challenge you, I dare you, I double dog dare you, I'm going all the way back to elementary school. Oh, it's on now. It's on now. I double dog dare you to show me anything that I've said to you is a lie. I challenge you. Now, once you find out, as most people already know, I may not agree with what Clarence says, but one thing about it, he's going to tell me the truth. Once you come to that realization, the rest, my fellow American, is on you. Of course, now, the mainstream media, they're going to continue to lie to you. They're going to continue to BS you. So make it a point, if you will. I would consider it a personal favor. If you start doing your research about the things you hear me talk about and exclude the mainstream media, because if this is news to you about crime, about inflation, about illegal immigration, about our standing in the international community, about the supply chain crisis, and the list goes on and on and on and on. If this is news to you, you should question where you've been getting your news from. Well, why didn't I know these things? Maybe then you'll figure out, son of a gun, these folks have been lying to me. They've been making it a point to lie to me. And hopefully you'll then ask yourself, why is that? Quick note before we wrap up today's show. This evening, we usher in the official start of fall. Can't tell it by the temperatures outside today, but it is. Additionally, speaking of the weather, at last count, there were 5 systems out in the tropics that meteorologists are keeping an eye on. So it would behoove you to do the same. It's that time of year, y'all. And you know, if you live anywhere along the Gulf Coast, this time of year, any given moment, we might get the heads up to start preparing. So, as a former Boy Scout, one of the best scout masters on the planet, Alvin Hollins Sr., be prepared, y'all. Don't wait until the last minute, because with the supply chain crisis still plaguing this country, certain things are going to be pretty hard to get. And that's on a normal day. That's not with all of your neighbors, co-workers, friends, loved ones, all going to the same time that you go to get the same things. Be prepared, y'all. Start every time you make a trip to the grocery store, pick up a few extra items, put them in the back of the closet, and squirrel it away, just in case. Word to the wise, for those with a brain, is supposed to be sufficient. That being said, my time's up, and I gotta go. But once again, and it seems like it's more meaningful every day I say it, I give it to you. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you know he loves you, and you know I do too. Best news is, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.